Written by Gjergj Zefi, Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić is once again in a situation where his symbolic and diplomatic choices align more with the logic of Eastern autocracies than with the declared course toward the European Union. The announced participation of Vučić in the military parade to be held on September 3rd in Beijing on the occasion of the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II has once again highlighted the real preferences of the Serbian regime. At this event, besides Vučić, well-known authoritarian leaders such as Kim Jong-un of North Korea, Vladimir Putin of Russia, and Alexander Lukashenko of Belarus are also expected to take part. This symbolic alignment, which coincides with an important event in China's geopolitical agenda, carries greater value than a ceremonial visit. It is a statement of positioning. Vučić is aware of the consequences carried by participation in an event dominated by the most repressive figures on the international stage. Kim Jong-un represents one of the most closed and brutal regimes in the world. Vladimir Putin is in the midst of a war of aggression in Ukraine that has united the West against him, while Lukashenko bears the contested legitimacy of power maintained only through repression. If a democratic leader takes part in an event where these figures are present, he sends a clear message that he belongs to a different world than the one he declares on the official platforms of foreign policy. For Serbia, this is not an isolated diplomatic incident, but part of a consistent political model that repositions the country as part of an informal bloc of autocrats who share not only common geopolitical interests but also methods of rule. For China, this is a way to affirm the new multipolar order where it takes the role of locomotive, while for Vučić it is a measured and calculated step to maintain the balance between Brussels and the Beijing-Moscow axis. But this balance is increasingly difficult to manage, especially when Brussels demands clear political signals for progress in the integration process. In fact, Vučić finds himself in a favorable position to blackmail the West with oscillation between the two camps. He has built a regime that imitates the Putin model: complete control over the media, a weakened opposition, strong ties with economic oligarchy, frequent use of nationalist rhetoric, and deliberate manipulation of regional crises to preserve internal power. In this context, his appearance next to Kim Jong-un is not a protocol deviation, but a natural reflection of his real political orientation. For the Balkan region, and especially for Albanians, this development is an alarm signal. A Serbia that moves closer to repressive regimes is always a Serbia seeking to strengthen the capacity to control not only its own people, but also to exercise regional influence uncompromisingly. It also puts at risk the stability of Kosovo, where tensions fuel domestic nationalism and justify repression. Vučić's Serbia, which appears alongside Putin, Lukashenko, and Kim Jong-un, is not a partner for peace or integration, but an organic part of a global bloc that challenges the liberal and democratic order.